Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Thrive and Prosper podcast. I'm your host, Zach Ritchie. Now, in order to create a proper baseline to launch this new project, I wanted to bring in someone with a fantastic knowledge of both business and law of attraction, who epitomizes thriving and prospering, and someone to help bring new business owners up to speed on a way to alleviate some of the stresses on them. So, leading our first episode here is the founder and CEO of Fund and Grow, the one and only Mr. Ari Page. Ari, the floor is officially yours. Please take it away.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us, where we are going to be discussing business credit and how it's the best form of funding available today. And what exactly does that mean? There's all these different types of funding out there, but which ones are the safest for you and give you the best options? For example, they're the lowest interest. So we're going to also be talking about how to get a lot of this type of credit, how you can get $25, $35, $55, $100,000 of this on just one credit line. And we can use multiple credit lines. It's called business credit card stacking, and how to maximize those approvals. We're also going to talk about how to get a lendable entity, how to form one, how to set it up, and the top reasons why people are getting denied. We're also going to talk about proven ways to boost your credit scores. Now, my name's Ari Page. I'm the CEO of Fund and Grow. I'm also an author. And I've been in the lending space for over 15 years, where I've generated in various companies that I've worked at over $1.2 billion in funding. And I've grown the team from just me to 65 plus people. I want to encourage everyone to stay connected with us. We're going to be discussing today how to grow your business through getting access to funding. My first question for everyone that's joined us, whether you're on YouTube or on GoToWebinar, come and let me know in the comments or the questions area, what's holding you back? What's holding your business back? I really want to know what is holding you back. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs are held back by capital. They call it the capital constraint. And what that means is that they're unable to invest into their businesses to create the growth that they're really looking for, because you have to have money to invest to grow. Or you could take a snail's pace and just slowly grow as you're generating income, which a lot of businesses do that. But in order to really scale, you're going to need access to funding. And the type of funding that we're talking about today is business credit cards, and how to access those cards without incurring any fees, and how we can stack up to $250,000 of this type of credit. So this type of credit doesn't appear on your personal credit report. You're able to earn rewards and cash back and travel miles. In fact, I'm going to be going over a slide in a little bit to show you how many thousands and thousands of dollars I get back every quarter just for spending that my business has to do anyway, because I use a credit card. And so you can also use this to buy real estate. You can literally wire money right from your credit card directly to your title company. No collateral or assets are required. That's what the word unsecured means. A lot of people don't know what that word unsecured means. It means it's not going to be secured to an asset or your collateral. It's a good thing for you. And another great thing is that no tax returns or income verification is required. Not that we're recommending that anyone's disingenuous, but no tax returns or income verification is required. Now, why would you want to use this type of funding over other forms? Well, as you can see, there's a lot of different types of money out there. And hard money is one of the forms of funding that a lot of real estate entrepreneurs use. And as you can see, the simple cost of hard money is absolutely staggering when you actually break it down and take a look at it. Now, am I advocating not using it? No, there's still a lot of benefit to using hard money. But if you can access $100,000, $250,000 of business credit at a fraction of the cost, I would recommend investing that first before moving on and using hard money. But yeah, there's a lot of different types of loans out there. You can get approved across the board. A lot of people think they can't. They think that they're not going to be able to get access, but you just have to know what type of funding to go after for your particular scenario. So there's all these excuses out there. There's all these different reasons why people don't want to get started, but the reality is this form of funding is very simple. It's simply based off of you and your person and your business. So in other words, it's based off of your personal credit and off of your business. And we're going to get further into this, but we're going to show you how you can leverage and get access to business credit to invest in your business right away. But my question is, what are you going to use the funding for? In your business, if you had $50,000, $100,000 right now, what would you use it for? So you have to have a strategy to build up to the large amounts of funding. You want to build 100, 200, 250,000 of this type of unsecured. And remember, unsecured means it's not secured to anything of yours. So it's just, this easy to access funding. Well, you have to have a strategy. Now, There's a lot of banks out there that offer this. There's, you have all the major ones, Bank of America, US Bank, all the major banks offer. Then you have many, what we call regional footprint banks. They also offer the 0%. It could be from 6 months to 9 months to 12 months. We've seen it as long as 22 months at 0%. And of course, there's a lot of things that I'm going to talk about on today's call that are actionable things that you can take action on right away. Then there's also going to be things that I'm going to talk about, which are the strategies that the Fund and Grow team uses for our clients. So you can also take what I'm going to talk about, these funding strategies, and you can implement these same things. So what we would do, what our team would do for you, is we would apply for multiple credit accounts at the exact same time. We would go after Bank of America, Chase, American Express, US Bank, and I'm just throwing out examples of different 0% lenders. But this is how the credit card stacking process works. Once you've gone over your personal credit and maximized it to its fullest lendability possible, and we're going to be getting further into that in just a moment, then you can move forward and execute an application strategy. And then you can do such things such as extend your 0% with the card stacking process, which I'm going to get further into. Then you do through multiple application batches, you build your aggregate amount of funding larger and larger. I really want to know, how much funding do you need? Is it $250,000? Are you just looking for a microloan just for $50,000? Either way, whatever you're looking for is really important to understand that the structure of your entity, how your entity is set up, makes all the difference in how much funding you're going to get access to. So everyone's more than likely on the call has got an entity or got a company set up. Now, how it's set up makes a big difference. So there's some entities that are going to have the attributes that the banks are looking for. If you were a bank and you were looking at someone's company, you would want to see specific attributes. So what are those attributes? They want to see that you're in the right industry, that you're in a safe, lendable industry. In other words, not in like risky investments or something, right? They also want to see that the name of your entity is a safe name, that it's not, for lack of an example, Ari's Risky Investment Club.com. And so that's obviously a no-no. So, and they also want to see the seasoning, how long your business has been open. These are the three main things needed for successful funding. And this is also something that when you work with Fund and Grow, that's just part of what we provide to you, is an entity that will work in all three of these main points. So then on top of that, if you already have multiple entities on your own, you can utilize the multiple entities, multiple LLCs, S Corps, C Corps, in order to help enhance even further access to funding. And then you can loan money from one business to another. So if you have money coming in through one business, say you set up an entity specifically for marketing for your company, that business may be a lot more lendable than your main operating business. And so sometimes you can use that marketing business to generate money that you then lend to your main business, and we can get you access to a lot of funding using these types of strategies. So you can use all the entities that you have to help you get access to the most amount of funding possible. Now, one of the things that we do within our program is we help people go over their reports. We help them look at their entity to figure out what we can do to put all the links to the chain in order to get you access to funding right away. Well, some of that is that you need to understand the basics of what's going on your credit report. If you're not understanding the basics of what's going on your credit report and the type of debt that you're holding and what type of funding you're going for, you're not going to have a plan in place to be able to do this. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with a consumer credit report, they're never going to give you a full history, a full snapshot of your credit. It's kind of hard to interact with the banks on an uneven footing when they have access to more information than they're willing to give you. You can't you have to really understand what's going on in your scores if you guys want to move forward to get access to large amounts of this type of funding. And everyone can get access to it. If you're in America and you have a credit score, then you can move forward and get access to it. And the best part is the funding doesn't even show up on your credit report. Now, you do have to have good personal credit, but it's not going to show up on your personal credit report. And that's a really big part. Now, one of the things that's important as you're going from application batch to application batch, you want to remove your inquiries. So removing inquiries, disputing your inquiries and removing them are important. But there's something really important to know. You can't just dispute any old personal inquiry. Because if you inquired legitimately, then you can't just go and dispute it because you did inquire. But if you're inquiring and you're applying for a business credit card, a business inquiry can, and I want you guys to write this down, a business inquiry cannot be held against your personal credit report. And it's going to drop your scores by a lot. So the business credit inquiries incurred from a business credit card cannot be held against your personal credit report. If you don't believe me, go online, dispute it, and you'll watch it fall off. And we'll also teach you how to do that. And if you need access to see if they're even on there, you can go to fundandgrowcreditservices.com, which gives you access to be able to look at your credit. And as you know, we're on your guys' side. We're trying to help expose these things. We want consumers to be aware of what they're dealing with. So you can go to Fund and Grow Credit Services, and that way you can get access to your credit. That's not our main program or anything. That's just a credit monitoring program that will help you be able to see what's going on your credit. So now let's talk about another form of credit. So far we have talked about personal credit and how that ties into business credit, specifically business credit cards that you're able to get the 0% introductory rate on. So far we've talked about personal credit and business credit. Now we're going to talk about corporate credit. Now corporate credit is different than business credit because business credit, while it doesn't report to your personal credit report, they still want to look at your personal credit report and make sure that everything's in good standing. And if you were to default, then eventually within 3 to 4 months, it is going to have a ding on your credit report. So that is what business credit is. Now with corporate credit's a whole nother thing altogether. Right now, we're sitting in an over $1 million building here at Fund and Grow, and that was bought through corporate credit. Nobody personally signed for it. There was no, credit report ran or personal credit looked at. And with it, we've been able to do this because we've built our corporate credit. And our corporate credit has nothing to do with me personally, nothing to do with any one of our employees personally. And so this is another thing that folks can use right away to start helping build their credit. You can get access to non-recourse funding. Non-recourse means there is no recourse against you. So our funding team, when it comes to the business credit cards, we literally get you approved. So we do all of the work for our clients when it comes to applying and negotiating for credit cards. Now, the important thing to understand is that the consumer on their own is not going to have the success that we're going to have when we've already been applying and we're getting millions and millions of dollars of this every single month. We're literally getting 23 to 24 million a month in this form of funding. And so the type of success that we're going to have for you is going to be far beyond what you as a consumer are going to get on your own when you just kind of stumbling forward applying for this and let me try to apply for that. However, you will be able to get access to funding and it will prove to you. All you have to do is go to Google, type in 0% business credit cards. And so you'll see immediately that there's lots of this type of credit available. You just have to know how to qualify for it. That's what our team does. And we literally get you approved for. Our negotiators are interacting with the banks, doing the applications, and they are doing the applications for you, and they are doing the negotiations for you, and all you're doing is receiving the credit and saying thank you for all of this credit. And so this is the key, folks. This can be used for real estate. This can be used for brick and mortar, for an e-commerce business. You can use it for whatever you want. And the greatest part is when you're using your credit cards, you're going to be getting cash back and rewards. And the long and short is that you're already having to do a lot of the spending. Is anybody paying for pay-per-click? Is anyone doing marketing? Is anyone paying for real estate? All of those things you can do on a business credit card. It's very simple and very easy to do. If you look online, you'll see that this is a very proven concept. The credit card stacking process that Fund and Grow pioneered over the last 12 to 13 years is now taken off like wildfire all across the internet. And you can go online, you can Google us, you can see all the reviews that we have. And we've been doing this for a very long time. We're very proud to do this for our small business clients. We're generating lots of credit that's helping so many small businesses. We work together with a lot of the trusted names out there. So by now you can see that this program is very comprehensive and that we are very thorough in what we do. So, and of course, this service is tax deductible. So make sure to use that link, fundandgrow.com. And in the meantime, we're going to move on. I see a couple people asking, can we use the money for marketing? What can I use the money for? The answer is you can use it for literally whatever you want. We don't recommend going to Walmart and buying flat screen TVs with it, but there's no money police that's going to come and tell you what to do. But this is what clients experience. When we apply for them, they are not getting anything meaningful until we call and do the negotiation process. The negotiation process is essentially us calling, touching base with the bank, explaining to them your business, who you are, and we when our clients sign up with us, we have a power of attorney, a limited power of attorney, giving us permission to call the banks and do this one particular thing. Doesn't give us permission to do anything else other than call the banks and get you credit. And so once you give us your permission to do this work for you by giving approval on the limited power of attorney, we then take care of all of it for you. You're not going to be doing this negotiating. That's people just don't do it on their own. People don't know how to do it. They're too scared to even ask for what they actually want. But we know what the banks will give. We understand your profile, and we know how to get you the maximum amount because we've literally done it with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of clients. Now, what if I don't have good credit? Then what? Well, the great thing is that you're in America. You have access to credit. Have you ever gone to any of the islands? Like, you ever gone to like Nassau or the Bahamas, and you notice the way that they build their homes? Not all the homes, but many of the homes, especially if you've driven around in the islands for a while, you'll see that they build one level and then there's rebar sticking out the top. And then there'll be another level built, but there's still rebar sticking out the top. That's because mom and dad built their house, and then the kids are building the next level for when they're getting married, and then their kids are building another level. It's because they don't have access to what we have access to, which is mortgages, to be able to build an entire home. And we don't realize how blessed and how lucky we are to be able to go to a bank and get access to $250,000 or more in funding. We should really be thankful that we're able to do this. Now, if your credit isn't there, if you don't have good credit, and you're like, well, that's fine, Ari, but I can't go to a bank and get this. Well, that's fine. You still have the ability to fix your credit. And then you could go to the bank. At least you're not in freaking Nassau, Bahamas, where you wouldn't even be able to get access to that. And so the beautiful thing about being able to do credit repair is that you can fix any of these blemishes from your past. I know I had blemishes from my past from when I was in college. Part of how I pioneered a whole credit repair process of fixing credit was by fixing my own credit and deleting all these nasty items off my report. And I caused those problems. But you know what? I needed to move on. They were caused in the past. And guess who else has caused problems? Guess who else defaulted? Some of the biggest banks in the freaking world. You guys know that. The biggest banks in the world default. Do they get a red mark on their credit report? Do they get something negative against them? No, they get bailed out by freaking Congress. So if you've had bad credit, don't feel bad. You can fix it. You can fix it pretty easily. There's a lot of different credit repair companies out there. You could fix it yourself, or you could work with a partner. We have a partner that we work with called Kadam Credit Help. If you really want to get stuff deleted off your report, go with this company. They get stuff all the time. Then they're back into our program actually getting funding. And you can use the funding for such a variety of things. So you can use the funding for real estate. You can use the funding for e-commerce. You can use the funding for a brick and mortar, such as a pizza, restaurant, a hair salon. Honestly, guys, you can use it for a virtually unlimited amount of things. And you, of course, want to make sure that you're spending it on something that will generate an ROI, a return on your investment. You want to generate money. You're not just using funding to buy flat screen TVs and to, thinking you're upgrading your life. If that's you, don't even buy this program. Don't even buy this program if you don't have something that you're planning on investing into. If you're just planning on getting this to pay off your college debt or to just to go and buy a new car for yourself, this is not the program for you. For that, you just need to fix your credit and you just need to go and get a normal conventional loan. This is for entrepreneurs, for people looking to become real estate investors, or that is already a seasoned real estate investor and wants to be able to rehab and flip more, be able to gain access to materials. Quick and easy credit cards are just easy to use credit accounts, and you can just use them at Home Depot or at Lowe's or whatever. This is for the e-commerce business that's trying to buy more inventory. This is for the digital service that wants to get their marketing out there through pay-per-click, through Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram marketing. Credit cards are perfect. Funding Grow spends around 80, 90, 100,000 a month in pay-per-click marketing for us to market on YouTube and on Google and on Facebook. And the credit cards are a perfect way to fund that. And guess what you get? You get all your airline miles and your rewards and your cash back. It's actually cheaper. It brings the cost way, way down. Now, what are the fast track keys? Now, that is, if you have a 680 plus score, then you're kind of in a good position to get started. And if your balances, meaning the balances of your credit cards to the credit limits, are below 30%, then you're in the zone. You're in the zone to get started and to get funded. So Eddie asked, does my business have to be generating an income in order to get funding? You will want to have some type of income coming in on your business, but the good thing is that you could also use your personal income. So any income that you have, all can be used in order to get access to the business credit. And another thing that can be used is projections. Now, we have to tell the bank the right way about the projections, but we are able to tell them the honest truth of whatever your income is. And then when we're negotiating with them, we can tell them, we project that this business is going to make X, Y, Z based off getting access to funding. And so projections are something that businesses use to get access to funding, even if they're not making money right now. And the whole point to that is that a business has to project what their income is, and then they have to let the bank know that. I'm going to go ahead and answer a few more questions, and then we're going to sign off. So if anyone has questions that I still haven't got to, come to the questions area, because there's literally so many questions in here. It's kind of hard to keep up. Do you require tax returns, Priscilla? No, we do not require tax returns. So Shamika says, one more question. If my credit is not 680, should I work on my own credit first? The question is, Shamika, how quickly do you need the funding? Our people are going to be able to help you raise your score faster than you'll be able to do on your own. That's a fact. But if you need the funding like within 1 week or something, really short window of time, then no, that's not going to work. But if you need the funding within a few months period of time, then absolutely that might work. I recommend giving our team a call. They will run what's called a pre-qualification, and they'll look at your score, and then they'll be able to answer your question in black and white. And that way, just like an attorney, until we actually look at it, it's kind of hard to answer your question specifically and concretely. So once they look at it, they'll be able to answer that for you. And we look forward to serving all of you who have gotten started already and to help move small businesses forward in America. We are big proponents of small businesses in America, and small businesses flourishing and coming back and doing better. It's really been a travesty. It's been horrible what's happened over the past few years, where so many small business owners have taken the brunt of everything that's been going on in society. And so we're here to help you get a leg up, to help you get back in the game, to help you get ahead when it comes to getting your inventory, to being able to hire new employees, whatever it is that you need your funding for. We're here to help you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It's been a wonderful event, and we hope to be working with you soon.
Warning: the financial insights shared on this platform reflect personal viewpoints and are not expert advice. Fund and Grow, its staff and agents are not liable for any results from following these insights. Take time to do your own research or consult a financial advisor for professional advice. Decisions made based on Fund and Grow's podcast content are solely at your own risk. Since 2007, Fund and Grow has helped over 30,000 business owners and real estate investors across America get access to over $1.6 billion in growth capital. We're on a mission to empower entrepreneurs and investors by helping them utilize the smartest form of funding: low-interest, unsecured business credit.